Hey everyone, I'm Dan Barefoot checking in from sunny Los Angeles, California.
And I'm MJ beaming from the beautiful Bogota, Colombia. Welcome to another episode of WIN StreamIt, your go to for what's next in digital graphics.
Today's headliner is a true game changer. Mimaki just became the first major player to step into the UV DTF printing arena.
That's right, then. In this episode, we put in the spotlight on Mimaki, the innovators who keep finding ways to surprise this industry. The brand new UJV 300 DTF 75 UV DTF printer is officially here and is shaking things up in digital decoration.
Exactly, MJ. Mimaki's always had a reputation for speed to market, and this launch is no different. Once again, they're the first Japanese manufacturer to roll out a UV powered DTF printer, beating all the other Japanese manufacturers to the punch.
I'm still pretty new to the industry, but I've got to say then, the pace at which Mimaki rolls out new tech blows my mind. When do they even sleep?
That's a great question. I did a bit of digging for today's show because, yes, I'm just one of those guys who reads corporate strategy presentations for fun. Mimaki's own global site has an amazing breakdown of what makes them tick. They see themselves as an innovator that's always delivering, quote, something new, something different, end quote. Honestly, we could do an entire series just on where they're headed next.
I remember you mentioning that, especially their big push
Mhm.
to accelerate the digitalization of industrial printing. It really feels like innovation is baked into their DNA.
It is. They call it their Innovation 30 plan, and it's ambitious. Mimaki wants to nearly double their sales to 150 billion yen by 2030. We're talking everything from digital paints to flexible organic electroluminescent sheets, plus new companies in the pipeline. If I were a competitor, I'd be glued to their roadmap right now.
150 billion yen, that's not pocket change, then. They're not kidding around.
Nope. And our friends over at Mimaki, Ken, Josh McKenzie, plus the amazing team we're about to chat with today, are all geared up to make that huge goal happen.
All right, then, enough crystal ball talk. Let's bring it back to what is happening right now.
Good call. So, once again, for everyone listening, Mimaki is officially the first big player to plant a flag in the UV DTF printing. The UJV 300 DTF, it's here. It's a big deal. And we're going to break down what it means for digital decoration.
Buckle up, everyone. This is gonna be good, so let's dive in.
You're right, MJ. Time to buckle up. Why don't you do the honors and introduce our guest?
I would love to then. We're thrilled to welcome Hugo Gonzalez and to welcome back Carissa Terway to WinStreamIt today. By the way, did you know that Carissa was recently promoted to training manager at Mimaki?
Big congratulations to Carissa. Way to go. I
Thank
wonder
you.
if anyone's told them they're on the hook for a slice of that 150 billion yen goal.
Yeah, we all know.
I bet you do. Well, I was going to say just kidding, but it's all teamwork, just like us, right, MJ?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, MJ, don't even think about giving me my own 150 billion quota, okay?
Dream big then. 150 billion sounds pretty good to me. Anyways, back to business. Hugo, Carissa, it's really great to have you both with us. But
Mm-hmm.
before we dive in, can you tell us a bit about yourselves and your path into this industry?
Sure. I'm Hugo Gonzalez, senior segment specialist for Mimaki, and I oversee marketing for a lot of our flatbed products and a lot of our UV products, including the UJV 300 DTF 75. And I've been with Mimaki 15 years now, and I've been in this industry, with Mimaki pretty much the whole time. So it's in my blood now. I love promoting Mimaki.
Once you're in, you can't get out, right?
Absolutely. And this is
Carissa?
Carissa. She'll be doing our demo. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, and I am Carissa Turway, and I've been in the industry, I don't know, 25 years. Started out with magazine layout and design, and fell in love with wide format probably about 15 years ago. I've been at Mimaki now 6 years, and in love with the technology. It's as simple as that, and that's something we're going to show you today.
That's great. You know, in fact, that is something we were talking before we got online about the fact how you get into the industry and it's very difficult to get out. But it's a wonderful industry. It's international in scope, and you work for a great company that gives you lots of opportunities. So thank you both for that. It was truly insightful. Now, let's move into the heart of our discussion, the Mimaki UJV 300 DTF UV printer. Hugo, Carissa, it's all yours.
All right, thank you. So thank you first for allowing me to introduce the machine on your format. This is a great way to get it out there. So what I'm going to talk about is the Mimaki complete solution. We have the printer, we manufacture the ink, we have our software, our proprietary software, and we have amazing technical support that will support, you know, the printer through the life of the printer. So I'm going to do a quick little overview of what DTF is, you know, where are the market opportunities, go over some of the applications, and then, of course, in the demo portion, Carissa will be showing us how to put together or how to actually use the application. And, of course, I'll be giving you a quick overview of the machine and, you know, why you would want to choose Mimaki. So first, DTF you know, this is not a new technology. It's been around for a while, but as mentioned, we are the first Japanese company to get into this. So we've tried to simplify it as much as possible. So it can be done with 3 easy steps. You know, first it's print, and on our printer it's inline lamination. You know, you cut that little sticker out, you paste it on your application, and then you peel it off. It's as easy as that. And we'll review, you know, the films a little bit here in a second. Part of the reason we entered into this market is to complement our current portfolio. As you may know, Mimaki has a very large portfolio of machines, including flatbed printers, roll-to-roll vinyl printers, roll-to-roll UV. It comes in solvent and UV varieties. And then we also have a lot of textile printers. So for this particular market, if you're going to want to do graphics onto rigid surfaces that are too large for a flatbed, or they don't fit on the cylindrical printer like our Kebab HS, this is where this market hits perfectly. So it particularly shines on applications that have deep walls or deep wells. So you want to get really to the bottom of the shape, or if you want to do highly curved shapes that, you know, wouldn't necessarily work on a Kebab printer. This also complements, you know, the industry at large. Compared to something like pad printing, it allows you to do short runs, highly customized, high photographic imaging, you know, really smooth gradients, and, you know, and do it fairly quick and low cost, you know, for a short run as compared to pad or screen printing. And then, you know, as compared to like a dedicated cup printer, obviously it lets you do many more applications. And as I mentioned, you know, this will shine on products that you can't fit onto a flatbed, or you don't want that vinyl look that a roll-to-roll vinyl printer will give you. Mm-hmm. So the market opportunity for you, for the customer, is, you know, this will open up new applications for you. It'll allow you to create many more types of offerings, especially for that, as I mentioned, the limited short run, personalized, customized items. This also works with variable data, so it will allow you to do, you know, many unique items in the same run. And, you know, this film works really well with our CGAR cutters. So you could have actually a really fast, smooth, you know, print and cut workflow with our CGAR line. And the market opportunity right now, it's estimated that it's at 215 million here as of last year. And it has a projected growth of 10.2% percent over the next 5 years. So this is something that, is growing, is gaining popularity. So it's great to get in at the floor level. So as I mentioned, this is the first Japanese UV DTF machine, and it is based on our very popular UCJV system. So this is not a brand new thing to us. We're not trying to work out the kinks. This is already an established, stable system. As with all of our UV machines, it comes with a standard bulk ink system to keep those ink prices down. It has, we did add a few more bells and whistles to the UCJV model to accommodate for the extra rolls, to do the inline lamination, but it has, a lot of the same systems. So if you're already familiar with Mimaki especially, this is going to be a breeze to get into this. So we did modify the feeding system a little bit in order to work with this. As you might know, this has a adhesive surface on one of the films. So the automatic liner separation takes place on the back. So it has a roll take up so that to keep the mess down. It has new silicone feeding rubber feet to be able to push the media through with adhesive without sticking to it. And then on the front side, it has the inline lamination for easy handling, so that your final product that goes on the take up is already laminated. You could pretty much just cut it out and sell that piece. It's easy as that. As I mentioned, Mimaki is already an established business or an established model, pardon me. So this allows us to have smooth feeding without risk to the head. On other printers that don't have this stable feeding system, part of the issue is that if the media is fed a little bit too fast or with too much force, it can buckle. And as I mentioned, there's adhesive on that printed film. So if that buckles under the head, you could have a catastrophic failure, by touching the head with the glue, basically. So our system prevents any of that. This is also backed by our core technologies. Mimaki's been around for a very long time. We're, we're one of the leaders in UV printing. So we have these core technologies that are designed to optimize, production, make it efficient, and always have high quality. Something like our MAPS core technology, it's an advanced algorithm to reduce, cure banding. And then something like our nozzle check unit and nozzle recovery systems, they work in tandem to be able to print unattended. If you turn it on, it'll periodically check that all the nozzles are printing. If there is one that's missing, the nozzle recovery system jumps in and tries to, produces a cleaning to try and clear it up. If it can't do a cleaning on that run, it'll actually replace it with a different nozzle so that it could continue printing without losing the current job. And then, of course, we have the white ink circulation. And this one allows us to, reduce ink waste and keep white at the optimized level. So as you know, for most companies, white ink has a very, is prone to sedimentation because of the molecule that's used for the whitening. So our circulation system keeps it flowing in the system so that it doesn't settle. So that when you turn on the printer, does its startup sequence, it's pretty much ready to print. You don't have to purge the white. You don't have to get rid of any of sedimentation. You don't have to waste ink, basically. So all of these technologies put together amount to very high quality. As you see on the image on the left, it maintains very crisp lines. This is due to the combination of our variable dot technology, the core or the maps, and the waveform technology. And on the right side, you can see it gives a much more uniform color in the solids by comparison. With this, we're also introducing a brand new ink to the US market. This ink was originally designed for Europe's market to meet the future coming chemical bans that might be coming. So something like those cancerous chemicals, there's substances of very high concern. They were designed to meet that, but we were still able to maintain the color quality and the adhesion quality that is already known of our LUS 170 ink and our LH 100 ink. So they're basically the same, except they have been reformulated to meet legal requirements. And this is a huge advantage because compared to the main competitor in UV DTF right now, they will not, very likely they will not be able to meet Europe standards that are coming. So we've basically cleaned up the inks so that they're higher on safety and they meet regulation that's coming. And this one has also, it's maintained the quality that you would expect from Mimaki inks. As you can see, there is a 4-8 month comparison. So Mimaki ink is rated for outdoor resistance for 4 to 8 months for this application. As I mentioned, we're also highly supported with our software. This is all proprietary software. The PICT system is particularly intriguing because it allows customers to monitor the progress of print. So if you have a really long run that you want to print the whole roll overnight, you can have this app on your phone and you can see the progress. You can then look back on the progress over the last few months. You can see how much ink you're spending, how much time it's spending, how much production your printer is doing. You can have all the analytics at your fingertips, and you can do it remotely, wherever, whatever device you have connected. And we're also introducing Simple Create with this. One of the taglines for this was, it's so simple, you don't even need the owner's manual to use it. So this is a very intuitive design program that'll allow you to design the layouts for your images. And then I want to share just a really quick ROI. Generally, we're focused because, since our core UV side is, you're printing direct to object. There is another opportunity that UV DTF gives, and that's actually selling gang sheets. So selling a decal sheet requires very minimal amount of work. You just simply print it, cut it out, and ship it, and that's it. And they give a much larger profit margin. However, this is still very profitable in material costs, as compared to material costs. If you're doing cups, stickers, literally for each of the applications, you're spending pennies of ink and maybe a couple more cents for the material itself. And I calculated this assuming the most expensive material out there, because there are less expensive materials, but one of the most expensive materials out there costs about $1.23 a linear foot. So this is extremely cost effective. You have extremely high profit margin, as compared to the materials. So I just wanted to let you know that there is opportunity to create applications, but if you don't have an application to sell at the moment, you can still sell gang sheets and allow people to use it for their own applications. If people want to personalize their laptops, their cell phones, their, party cups for their kid's birthday, that type of thing is, an easy opportunity for this type of printer. And I did want to mention, the competition, because, we are not the first to this market. There are pretty much only 3 companies that create all of the printers out there. There are a couple outliers, but most of the brands that are popular right now are created by these 3 companies. And most of these drop ship. They don't have tech support. They don't have customer support. They don't come with warranties. Heads are treated like consumables. So this is where Mimaki's really going to shine. Mimaki is backed by our engineering team. It's backed by our service team. We do support our dealerships directly. If our dealerships cannot maintain it for some reason, our team will go out there. This is already a proven stable system with the UCJV series. We have all of the warranties, an easy to use interface. If you've used the Mimaki before, and you'll see Carissa in the demo shortly, it's a very easy to use interface. It's an easy loading system, and this is an overall and OEM designed package. So this is what we're showing you today. You have the printer, we make the ink, we make the software, and we have the service support. Thank you for joining us. And now Carissa will give us a demo on the machine itself. Carissa.
Hey, that was great, Hugo. Really, really interesting. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know about this new system.
Thank you.
Carissa, your mic is off.
Sorry, as you see, this is a new Mimaki UJV 300 DTF-75. And as Hugo said, this is something that we, have already had in the system. This is based off of the UCJV 300. Same heads on this, but like you said, we've got new ink. We've got 2 different types of ink in this. And I love the fact that they put both of these inks together. It gives you the hardness of the ELH 100, and then the stretchability of the 170. And what that allows these decals or the transfers to be able to do is the performance of these of the end product is just very impressive. Hopefully you can see this is just a cup that I was doing, but you could even I even put it on the inside. So that's what Hugo was talking about, is the fact that you're going to be able to put print in areas on objects now that you could never put print before. And I really think that that's very exciting, because we're able to put things. Look at this bowl that we did. I thought this was kind of a good idea, especially like if you're having a party and you want to personalize it. And I think that this machine is really going to help, especially the events market. So let's look at the color coming off of this machine as well, because that is what is really impressive to me. Do you see how consistent and vibrant the colors are? That is the quality that you've come to expect from Mimaki. And that's what you're going to get with this system as well. So let's look around here at the back of the machine. So when we go to the back of the machine, you can see that there is new take-up systems down there. So like Hugo was talking about, this is going to use 2 different types of material. It's going to have the A sheet and it's going to have the B sheet. The A sheet is what is on the back, and that's the part that has the adhesive. And it's going to have a release liner that will need to be taken up off of the A sheet as it feeds into the machine. Very easy to be able to load in. And then this is the B material up here, which is blue. Many different types of films out there. So test which ones you like and which ones work best. We've had quite a few of them that we looked at, and most of them work really well. They're going to have a little bit of a different tack to them. So make sure that it's going to work for the application that you have. But on that performance, like I was talking about, I really wanted to show you guys this solo cup, because it's got, some ridges in it, and we're able to put print on there where we weren't able to do that before. So as we also talked about, this machine does have a nozzle check unit. So let's look at the capping station of this machine. This is something that sets Mimaki apart in most of the industry, but especially on this machine, because our competition is definitely not going to have this. So this is a 2-head machine. You see that it has a wiper system as part of its automatic maintenance system, as well as that nozzle check unit that is going to help you make sure that you're not getting any banding in your print. Or like he said, if you have a nozzle that has dropped out, then it will remap that, and then it will make it where that head actually lasts longer for you and not going to have to be replaced. So the material on this one, it's the feeding system. It does have this lamination. This is very easy to be able to engage. This is the engagement bar right here, which is nice. And I don't know if you can see it, but I do want to talk about the special pinch rollers that this machine that some of the competition does not have. This really allows that material to come through the machine without having to worry about it running into the pinch rollers. This also, I don't know if most of you know it, but this machine also has a vacuum section on it. And it actually vacuums the material in place as well, so that also prevents that adhesive from getting onto the machine, which is great. So on this machine, you're going to have an automatic maintenance system that you will be able to control. What that means is that if you are out of town, you can turn up the automatic maintenance system on this machine so that it will come up out of sleep mode and clean itself a little more often while you're out of town. And then when you're in full production, you can turn that maintenance down a little bit, so maybe it doesn't need it. But the maintenance system on this machine is really what's going to set it apart, and what our competition is not going to have. The machine pretty much maintains itself. You are going to want to keep around the areas of the head clean as part of your daily maintenance. It'll take about 5 minutes. So this machine has a cyan, magenta, yellow, and black ink in the 170, and then the white and the clear is going to be in the ELH 100, which Hugo has already talked to you about. So these transfers are very easily done. I also want to talk about the fact that the software is going to have several different resolutions that you can run at. And I really do like that. That also is something that sets us apart. You're going to have different color profiles. You're going to have different resolutions that you're running at. And therefore you can go fast where you really don't need as much quality, or you can go up to the 12 by 12 and hit that high quality. And our prints also at that speed has a little bit of relief on it, which is cool. What I'm running right now is a 600 by 600 16 pass. And I feel like that's really good in that production mode for this machine. And so remember, if you guys want any of these samples, or if you're wanting a demonstration, please go to the Mimaki USA website, watch the events page, and you'll see upcoming webinars on this machine. And then if you would like us to send you out some samples, you can contact us from that website as well. And I believe me and Hugo will also be doing some webinars coming up on this machine. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel at Mimaki USA. Hugo, is there anything that I missed that you would like for me to go over?
No, I think you did a pretty good job covering it.
Hey, that was really great, Carissa. Really good information. Hey, going back for a second, you did mention that there's 2 ink types. Is there functional differences between the 2, or is it just because of the European labeling that you have? What's the difference between the 2 inks?
No, we actually based them on current inks. You may know, we have an LH100 ink, and it's really highly solvent resistant. It's a very rigid ink, so you can actually clean it with alcohol and it'll be fine. It's not going to dilute, or it's not going to lose any color. And it's also really highly scratch resistant, which is why we use it for like Braille and ADA applications. So it can be touched for tactile projects, and it's very resistant. And then we also have the LUS 170 that's highly specialized for flexible medias, so you can crease it and it won't crack or anything like that. You can even stretch it up to 70%. So what they did was they combined the two ink types for this so that you kind of have the best of both worlds. So you have the flexibility. So this application is not going to break or crack if you flex it, or if you put it over like on a rounded edge, it's not going to break. We've even done it on sharper edges, but our engineers have cringed. They're like, no, it's not a create a sharp line. It's a round, and I'm like, well, but it worked. But the advantage of having the hard ink with it is that it gives it a stable feel so that you can actually apply it to places, and on top it has the top clear coat is the hard ink, so it makes it more durable, more weather resistant, and very highly scratch resistant as well, since a lot of these applications are going to be touched.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, Hugo, is the print dishwasher safe?
So yes and no, and it highly depends on the full application. So for applications like something like Tupperware, something made out of PET plastics, when you stick them in a dishwasher, they do tend to expand and contract a little bit. And because of this, it will crack the ink a little bit.
Okay.
But let's say if you put it on ceramics or glass, that's not going to contract or expand very much. So that is more dishwasher safe. But there is another variable to the equation, and that's the film that you use, because the film is the part that provides the adhesive. So if that adhesive is dishwasher resistant, then the whole print will have some life in the dishwasher. We still recommend, most of these products, they're probably hand wash only, but we know people stick them in the dishwasher. So like our LH100 ink does have decent resistance in the dishwasher.
Okay.
But it also, depends on the application, because if you're able to get under the ink because of the adhesive, then you might have a failure. But there are films out there that are dishwasher rated, so those films will be able to produce good applications.
Okay.
Do you cure the whatever you're transferring to, like the substrate? Let's say for ceramics, is it all just pressure, or do you actually put it in an oven or anything?
No, it's all pressure. For some applications, we do recommend something like a hair dryer, just to kind of soften it up a little bit.
Okay.
And that'll help you get more into the nooks and crannies of the application. But no additional curing besides pressure or maybe a little bit of warmth.
Okay.
And going off a script here a little bit, but does when you're doing that, how does it compare to traditional UV, for example? If you're using your kebab type product where you're imaging on the outside with UV, how would UV DTF work with that? What's the comparison?
So part of the advantage of kind of having the Mimaki line, which I should have mentioned during the presentation, but I think it slipped my mind, is that it is meant to be a complementary printer to the flatbeds and to our other UV roll-to-roll printers. And the reason for that is that you're going to get the same quality and look. So it does have a more continuous look. So if you were able to print on the kebab and then put a DTF sticker to it, you should expect a very similar look, very similar color range, and to give you more uniformity throughout your applications.
Okay.
I would like to add, sorry,
Okay.
I would just like to add to make sure everybody understands that, this is still on adhesive. So on some applications, this is a semi-permanent application. And so direct printing, that's going to be a permanent application. So like you were asking if it's dishwasher safe, it's going to depend. And so that's the difference, I think, between direct and this transfer, because you are we're just going on adhesive, where UV direct is still going to be the more permanent option. This just allows you to be able to put print that's going to match your UV printing, on objects that we couldn't print before.
Okay.
Okay.
Would there be materials that you would or would not transfer to? For example, sorry to interrupt you here, but would this be usable with fabrics or not?
Generally, for UV DTF, we're recommending rigid surfaces only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for fabrics, we do have a fabric-based DTF.
Sure.
There are TX machines. So for those, those are heat applied, and I mean those are great as well. So that's gained quite a bit of popularity for the fabric DTF. So this is, for anyone who's familiar with that, this would be an easy transition. It's actually a little easier because you don't have to have the clamshell heat press or anything,
Sure.
any additional equipment like that.
That's the one side that looks very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, and how long do the print last? Like normally, I know it may depend on the material that you use, but what's like an average of how long would it last?
The primary actual tested that we have so far is for outdoor durability. So of course you're not going to have every application outdoors, but for outdoor durability, we're looking at 4 to 6 months. I'm looking, these are a few months old. This is a cup that kind of, shows how you can wrap around a little bit further. I know the color's not showing great. But this is, something like this. If I take care of it, hand wash it, I would expect it to last a few years. But I do know that the more abrasives you use on it, if you are kind of scrubbing it a little bit, if you catch an edge on it, especially for fine line detail, it may not last as long. But if you're doing like solid colors, I think they rated it at 2 centimeters wide solid colors, it should be expected to last a lot longer.
Well, Hugo, you remember when we were doing the sheet testing back about a year ago? I put some of those transfers on my cups at home, and all of them about a year later, I can't tell that they have even faded or chipped at all. So I think it really does depend on what that is. And, like he said, the scratchability that the 100 ink gives you on this is going to keep these looking nice for a long time, in my opinion.
Hey, Carissa, do you have all your mugs and everything with names on them from using this technology?
It's so funny you say that. My kids are so tired of me putting their names on everything. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, here's a gift. Oh no, not a mug with my name on it.
I know. But I love that. And we all know that specialized,
Sure.
products, especially something with somebody's name on it, this allows you to really customize things to your individual customers. And we all know that has high ROIs on it, right? So why not?
Do you, on the applications, is it mostly promotional goods you would recommend for this?
I'm thinking the event market is going to be huge for this. All parts of the event market. Imagine being, especially like in the wedding market, where you're going to be able to put some of this stuff on, like their champagne glasses, things that we weren't able to do before. And I kind of like that it can be removed on some of that, because what it allows is those event planners to be able to reuse some of the objects. And, environmentally, that helps us as well, so that they're not throwing that stuff away. They're able to remove some of, depending on the material, but sometimes they're able to remove the stickers and reuse some of the items. So I do like that sometimes it can be, a semi-permanent application where you can reuse objects that you've put print on.
Yeah, and they could probably vary this depending on the adhesives that they use, the particular films. I'm sure there's low-tech films as well as, the high-tech films that are available.
That's an interesting idea. I like that.
Yeah. Is it too difficult to load the rolls on the printer?
No, it's not for me, but I know how to load vinyl. If you're new to loading vinyl, it can maybe be a little bit hard for you. but
Mhm.
making sure you're putting it on the take up in the center is probably going to be the best. I would say this machine, other than the UCJB 300, where you could start printing as soon as the material is in. For the speeding system, I have found that if you go ahead and put them both on the take up before you start printing, you will get really great sheets without any bubbles in it. This front B film here, just making sure everything's lined up properly. But once you get it going, you could just keep printing all day. We just got this one installed not too long ago. Hadn't been in here for 2 weeks, and we've had it going constantly, and it really is a workhorse. And everybody that is looking at this AB film, don't get a little sticker shock on some of the better materials out there. Spend the extra money and also pay attention to how much material is on there, because a lot of these rolls are twice as much as what is on a regular roll of vinyl.
Yeah. I think,
Okay.
one thing you showed during your presentation was the ROI. And really, when you do look at the size of a decal and how much it's going to cost, even if it is a bit more expensive, it's in the scheme of things, it's a nickel. Okay. So it's quite interesting. Hey, yeah, a couple final questions here, but you mentioned that you have your Simple Create software, which piqued my interest. Is that going to be coming out for all your products, or is that just for DTF?
Right now, it's focused on DTF, but it is an image creator. So it's very simplified image creators. It's made to, to crop your images, make them into the shapes that you want them. So honestly, I imagine it would be very, broadly available to any of the other printers. It's just right now it works perfectly with the UV DTF because of the nature of it. You don't want outlines. You do clean edges so that you could have clean edges on the white backing and on a clear cap. So for that reason, we created it, because if you've ever tried to put a white backing on a pixel image that was cut out by hand, you usually end up having white artifacts or the clear artifacts around it because of the way it was cut. So Simple Create kind of takes that guesswork out of it, keeps clean edges, and puts it out in a format that would work well with the printer.
Okay, I have two final questions. One is, what's in the box? Is the RIP ink, film, or what comes with the printer?
So of the things you mentioned, the only thing that's not in the box is the ink. That is purchased with it. But the RIP is provided. The softwares are provided. And what else?
I want to add one thing. Rasterlink recently added the ability to be able to do PNGs, which has made me and Hugo's life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I wanted to
I'm
say
sure.
something about that, because a lot of the people that are using this as well as DTF are running that PNG workflow. So you don't have to worry about having to use a different RIP if you are on that PNG workflow. Rasterlink works great with those now.
Yeah, every phone captures a PNG.
Yeah, and I think that's,
Yes.
it's becoming a standard as well. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. Well, we really appreciate the two of you being with us today. It's been fantastic. MJ?
Yeah, what an inspiring journey. Thank you so much, Hugo. Thank you so much, Carissa. It's always such a privilege to hear not just our guests pass but into the industry, but also they're part of a company that's truly leading the way, like Mimaki is doing right now.
Absolutely, MJ. This really has been a great session. Every time we have a session, I think it's going to can't beat it, but this has been
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's true.
And the best part is we've got plenty more like this coming up on WIN StreamIt.
That's right, Dan. In fact, next week, I'm really excited because we're launching our very first World Imaging News Latino session in Spanish. And we're teaming up again with our friends at Mimaki, so you won't want to miss it.
World Imaging News Latino. Nice. Hey, when's that happening?
We'll be live with Mimaki Latin America on July 24th at 8 a.m. PST. And here's the fun part. I'll be co-hosting with someone new for our WIN StreamIt Latino sessions.
Whoa, wait. Am I being replaced? I'm really hurt.
Not replaced, then just joined by someone amazing, Claudia Hernandez from Montevideo, Uruguay. I mean, come on, Dan. You know Claudia.
Yeah.
She worked with you as director of sales for Latin America at your old company. And
Mhm.
even though she's been teaching at a business school in Uruguay, she still got her pulse on this industry.
You're right. Claudia's fantastic, and I know she'll be a great addition. I can't wait to see what you two have planned together.
I'll tell you then that it's going to be a lot of fun. And all right, then, time to wrap it up.
But before we say adios, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to WIN Quick News, our weekly newsletter. It's your easiest way to stay on top of everything happening in the world of graphics imaging.
We've got great content from DTF Expo, ISA, FESPA, Curatex, and the Grafica, and I'll be reporting live from FESPA, Mexico soon.
And speaking of big news, World Imaging News and WIN Latino are now official media sponsors of Printing United.
And more breaking news, we're also proud to be official sponsors of
Mhm.
FESPA Mexico. We're thrilled to be partnering with both of these incredible events.
Yes, we are thrilled. Hey, don't forget to check out www.worldimagingnews.com.
And for Spanish-speaking friends, www.worldimagingNewsLatina.com.
And that's a wrap for this episode of WIN Stream It. I'm Dan Barefoot.
And I'm MJ.
And until next time, stay healthy and keep on smiling.
Manténganse saludables y sigan sonriendo.